Welcome! This is an idea journal in less than 8 minutes, designed to make your marking easier and more interesting. This is the work of Lim Kwang Yong from Group 10. Before we start, I wish to share about my idea generating process. The way that I generate ideas is through inspirations, be it on the internet or my environment. This can be done through Flickr, where I view random photos, random articles on Wikipedia, as well as random walks around my neighborhood. As I came up with ideas, I also split them into personal and society ideas. Now, let us begin with personal ideas. Let us start with idea 1. Just look at the number of cards that a person normally has. One problem that many of us have today is that we have way too many cards. Therefore, a solution that I've come up with is to have a smart card device that allows you to record your cards into the device, allowing you to also preset them according to the buttons on top. For example, you can preset your EZ-Link to button 1 and then just press 1 when you board the bus. Recording is done by the camera, and if you lose your card, you can simply call the company to have it frozen so that no one else can use your card. Next, for idea number 2, one issue that I commonly face is that the keyboard of my handphone is too small. I have always wanted a bigger keyboard. So the solution to this is to create a program to synchronize the handphone keyboard to nearby computers, laptops, and iPads so that typing is much easier. This, I believe, would also help people with poor vision. Remember those eye exercises that we did in primary school? They are really helpful, and since there are so many screens in our lives today, our eyes are used for at least 12 hours every day. So, I wish to design an eye massager that helps to massage our eyes, using rotating machines to do the correct exercises and thick soft cushions to make our eyes comfortable. A remote control is also used to control the strength applied to your eyes. You can wear this device for a mere 5 minutes before you sleep or any time that you feel tired. For my next idea, it is about camping and hiking, which many people do. Very often, they have to bring their supplies and sleeping bags, and both of them can take up a lot of space. So, I have designed a backpack that can also double as a sleeping bag. This is a prototype backpack design. Here, I have indicated with arrows where metal rods have been inserted. These rods have an extendable function. When it is time to sleep, you can simply stretch out the bag to form a nice sleeping bag. It is recommended that you place clothes at the top part so that it can also double as a pillow. The maximum length extendable is up to 2.5 meters. To cook food well has always been one of my goals, and it is difficult because it is hard to know how large the fire should be, how long to cook the food, and also how much water and sauces to add. Therefore, I've added a digital temperature reader and a timer to a cooking pot. It allows us to know the exact temperature and how long we have been cooking. This pot, however, needs to be accompanied by a recipe book that specifically says what temperature to add what in, how long to cook the food for, and so on. Such books can be easily made through experimentation with cooking. Nowadays, primary and secondary school students carry bags which sometimes weigh as much as them. This is problematic as it makes them shorter. Therefore, I came up with a helium school bag. Since we can't ask them to bring less books, we can attach helium bags at the bottom to lighten the load. These can be adjusted and also taken out whenever the student wants, but they have to be careful since the helium bags might float away. Next, let us move on to society ideas. Today, global warming has become a huge problem and is primarily caused by a large increase of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere over the years. To solve this, I have designed a carbon dioxide stripping machine. It sucks in carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and splits it into carbon, which can be used to make ink and paint, and oxygen, which is released into the air. This will definitely help to alleviate the global warming problem. Have you ever had to go to a supermarket and took forever to find an item? Well, I have, and I think that we should have search terminals in a supermarket. We can then use them to search for items and it would point us in the exact direction to find it, if it exists. This problem might seem small in local supermarkets, but when they become as large as Giant and Walmart, it can be quite a needle in a haystack. The energy sources that we are using now are depletable, like oil, natural gas, and coal. By 2030, they are all expected to be gone. It is important to look for new sources of energy, and one such process is by removing electrons and positrons from atoms and then collecting them together. It is much more efficient than wind, solar, and hydropower, and amount of production can generate enough power to power New York City for a year. Also, it produces no radioactive waste, making it clean and reliable. For the last idea, I wish to touch on the education system in Singapore. This is a typical secondary school student. He is trapped in a box and is unable to see the outside world, that is the circle. There are many windows of opportunities out in the world, but they can't get to him cause of the box. The box is our education system, and if we remove it, suddenly all the windows are accessible, and the student can now take on many different paths. Do you know that there are actually more than 100 GCE subjects available? Yet Singapore secondary schools only offer less than 10. Relevant courses like tourism, business, and accounting are hardly taught. I feel that all these should be opened up to secondary schools, and with polytechnics offering more than 30 different courses, why not we start earlier? With that, it is the end of the idea journal. I hope that you have enjoyed watching, and thank you so much for viewing.